A game theoretic approach to solving Cluedo or winning Cluedo in the long term. This is part 3. What we already discussed is the 3 categories of cues. This would be direct cues, then indirect cues by tracking the other people's cards, and then potentially even tracking the other people's knowledge, which would be the 3rd category. The likelihood of me winning in the long term is probably maximized by improving my skill. So how can I improve my skill the fastest? Probably by having more information that I can then process. How can I get more information? In actually the evening, I just blurted out all of the different strategies that came to mind. Now, since the other people also played Cluedo for the first time, they also, to a certain extent at least, blurted out their strategies in response. It was also kind of more entertaining if everybody says what they are thinking and also kind of tells the other people what they are actually doing. What this then meant for me is that I lost 2 times. But what it also meant is now I have kind of the different strategies at least these people already played. They didn't track category 2 and 3 cues, or if they did, they kind of did it in their head, which I probably cannot do because my RAM is too low. So I wasted basically a full sheet of paper, which included the original Cluedo game, but also basically another one and another one and another one, where I kept track of what the category 2 cues are. So every time the person to the left gave me a card, I then entered into their card. So if I'm sitting here and we played kind of in a 4-player constellation. So I am sitting here, which would be basically here. And then if the person here actually shows me a card, then I can cross this card off from the tools and the persons and the other thing and say, okay, this person has this card. Which now also allows me to, when I then track these 1 and 0 and, 1 and 0 transactions, because the other ones are actually not interesting. If I then track such a transaction, I could, for example, say, okay, this person called Gutov killed with the pistol in the salon. And if this happened, and I now keep track basically of all the gifts out of one person, then eventually one has to pattern match, as I already discussed in another part of this. Now, I could also keep my strategy already secret. The problem with this is that I don't get falsification for my strategy from potentially other strategies by other people that potentially work better. Which brings up a problem. If I, all the time, whenever I now play Cluedo, which maybe happens in 2 years for the next time, aim for the long-term improvement of my strategy by basically blurting out my strategy and to therefore improve my game, then there is a misalignment between improving my game but also winning Cluedo. One could also say, in order to improve my game maximally, I basically do not win ever, but this would be an extreme. So probably it's more like a continuum. I can more win by keeping my strategy secret, or I can move towards improving my game by blurting out my strategy, but thus also reducing the likelihood of winning a given game.